Welcome to the Marshall Pruett podcast, brought to you by Cooper Tires and the Justice Brothers. We close our three-part look at the 2019 Road to Indy Champions, closing with, at the very first tier of that three-step ladder, Braden Eves, your new champion, Cape Motorsports, in the USF2000 category. A real back and forth all year long, with young Hunter McElrea ended up finishing second to Braden. Really strong and breakout performance here for Braden. Think you're going to like this kid. Truly enjoyed our conversation here just moments after he won the title using Cooper Tires. Makes things even better. Great to know that this kid on a really strong trajectory upwards. I think he and Hunter are going to have a pretty cool rivalry that continues in Indy Pro 2000 and beyond. So let's get going here, close our series celebrating the 2019 Road to Indy Champions with Braden Eves, USF2000. All brought to you here on the Marshall Pruett podcast by Cooper Tires and the Justice Brothers. Braden Eves, tell me about achieving this thing you've been working on all year long, champion, USF2000.
It hasn't sunk in at all. That was the most ridiculously crazy race of my life. I mean, I literally had to win the race.
Yeah.
And we had used tires. Everyone around had new tires. And I just had to make something happen. So I got to the lead in the first corner and just defended the position for my life. And managed to take the win. I don't know if I could have done it with another lap or 5, or it was just the perfect timing, and I think the stars aligned like they've never aligned in my entire life. It was just, I still can't believe it.
Tell us about this season, especially I would say the latter half of the season with Hunter McElrea, right? If we were coming into, say, the month of May, I mean, we could have started engraving your name on the championship. Hunter really perked up, made this a great two-driver fight. I'm not saying there weren't other drivers involved, but it really came down to the two of you. Tell us about this aspect of having to work for it, man. That, to me, seemed to be maybe the most valuable part of the year for you, because it causes you to step up even more, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I have to say, I have so much respect for Hunter after this season. It was the most difficult racing season of my entire life. So hats off to him. He did an incredible job all year. But yeah, he really came on strong, and I'm not going to lie to you, it felt like the championship was slipping away from me. And coming into this weekend, it was whoever had the more points in this weekend was going to win the championship. So I just had to pull out my pants and get to work, and managed to come out with it.
Tell us about a little bit about your team. It was awesome watching them. I mean, they seemed to, just watching them in pit lane, I'm not sure I've seen that big of hugs in any series this weekend so far, but there just seemed to be true elation. Tell us about your team. Tell us about the crew that helped make this happen for you as well.
Yeah, as you know, Cape Motorsports, the winningest team in the Road to Indy. 8 championships in a row, now 9.
They're the OGs right of OGs.
They're the absolute best in the business, especially at this level. They do an amazing job. When I look at me at the beginning of the season, I had the 4 wins, but I look at me now and I'm twice the driver I was at the beginning of the season. Wow. They have taught me so much through the course of the year. They always have the car amazing, but they're really teaching us things that we're going to use through our entire career. And they're the most passionate guys. They're just the best. I mean, plain and simple, they're the best team. And I placed myself with them. They're the people I had to be with if I wanted to win the championship. So it ended up working out. But yeah.
I like the fact as well, Braden, that you treat where you are at on the road to Indy, despite it being the first step. You don't treat this as the lowest level. Things will come when I work up a little higher, I'll learn more, do more professional things there. You're not treating your introduction to the road to Indy and stages of professionalism. You're trying to attack this from finding sponsors to picking the right team to just personal development. You're treating and have treated USF2000 like it's Indy Lights. Tell us about that, because that is very unique.
Yeah, I mean, I don't come from a lot of money. If you would have told me 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I would be even racing Formula cars.
Wow.
I probably wouldn't have believed you. I mean, it was like everything happened so quick when I got into cars, and then I ended up winning an F4 US right off the bat. But then the next year was struggle. As we talked about on the podcast earlier in the year, then I had the surgery and the really tough year, and I had to turn things around this year. And we kind of threw everything into this season. It was like my one shot. I don't know what would happen if I didn't win the championship, but
it caused you to hyper-focus is the point. Is you had to really, there was no kind of like 2, 3, 4 year plan. This was, I've got to maximize everything.
Yeah.
Look what you've done.
Yeah. And the pressure that Hunter put on me caused me to just, I had to step up. I mean, if I didn't, then he would be sitting here right now talking to you. And that, I feel like, I don't even know. I'm a different person now, I feel like, after this year, for sure.
So there's something pretty amazing about winning a championship on the road to Indy. They kick you in the butt and say, get up to the next level. And by the way, we're going to take care of that for you. I know genuinely, brother, we're half hour, 45 minutes from you clinching the title. So it's not as if you have your whole future mapped out yet. But I'm sure you've already started to think about, okay, all right, I'm going to celebrate today, Sunday, but I'm guessing tomorrow, Monday, you're probably going to want to start mapping out the next steps for you. Tell folks who don't know what it's like having this amazing opportunity presented to you by the Road to Indy, the Anderson Promotions, Dan Anderson, his whole family. Tell us about the process of being a new champion, but now needing to find a home to hopefully add another championship next year.
Yeah, and you know, if I would have had a 40-point, 50-point lead after the last race, I would probably have already been talking to teams. And I almost kind of waited maybe a little bit too long, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself, start talking to teams when anything could happen. I could have lost the championship. And I probably need to get on that now. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, I would not be doing Indy Pro if it weren't for this opportunity. And there's nothing else in the world like it. And I got to figure out where I'm going to go next year. I got to get on it right now, talk to all the teams and evaluate all my options and figure things out pretty soon.
One slight recommendation, if you haven't already, knowing that they will all be here, make sure you spend some time going up and down the IndyCar pit lane during pre-race festivities here at Monterey. And when you see Michael Andretti, you see Chip Ganassi, Mike Hull, whomever, just introduce yourself, and also introduce yourself as the new USF2000 champion, because they need to know you now as well. So as we close here, Braden, on next steps for you, this hasn't all happened for you just because money has fallen from the sky. There's a lot of important people that have helped make this happen. There's a lot of support that's come, whether it's parents, you name it. Let's close on giving them some love, some recognition, because none of this happens at this level without a lot of real human support.
Yeah, I mean, my whole family, the whole team is supporting me. I mean, I put so much pressure on myself, and I don't know if I would have been able to handle it without all of them just giving their unconditional support to me, and they're all there for me. And it's not an easy job what we're doing out here. Every single person here is so good at such a high level. This series, I mean, it's got to be the most competitive series at this level in the whole world.
Brutal.
It is brutal. It really is. And everyone supporting me has just helped out so much going into this weekend especially.
All right, last item for you, and this just speaks to your achievement. all Oliver Askew needed to do, because he'd done such great work leading into the season finale, was start the race, won the championship. Kyle Kirkwood in Indy Pro 2000, more or less the same thing. Done. You, on the other hand, just coming back to pressure and how I love how this has worked out for you. This isn't you, say, in Indy Lights, having to withstand pressure to demonstrate to everybody you can work with it, handle it, and not buckle before you get to IndyCar. This is you doing it at USF2000 level. I hope you realize, and I don't share if you do, but I hope you realize that for those who are paying attention, what you just did today, that's going to stand out as one of the more impressive things you've done in your career, I think, looking back. And even you might struggle to beat what you did today, knowing how much was on the line. I just hope you know that, again, for those who paid attention, you just made a hell of a statement about what kind of driver you are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it was just I had to win the championship, but I do realize how everyone realizes how much pressure was on me. Hunter, I was looking at all the points. I was thinking last night. I swear to God, I was up until like 11:30. Couldn't sleep, trying to play out every single.
So if I'm second and he's seventh, then that means
yeah, all the different drivers, different opportunities, or things that I would have to do. And one of those things that I thought about last night was, just having to go to the inside in the middle of turn 2, and that was what ended up happening. So I'm kind of glad that I couldn't sleep last night, because maybe it helped out today. But yeah, it's just, that was such a hard race. I don't even know how I did it, to be honest.
You did it, though.
Yeah.
Braden Eves, congratulations on your championship. Cannot wait, and I know my listeners cannot wait for next season to get here to see how your progress up to Indy Pro 2000 pans out. So,
yeah,
congratulations, son.
Thank
Impressive
you so much.
stuff.
Thank you.